Just left for after school. It's 3:20. I have my stack of papers to grade. So I'm going to grade their vocab quizzes. Some of them turned in homework after I already graded it, so I'm going to finish checking those in, and then I'm going to grade their language review packets from last week that I had them turn in that I just never got around to grading. So happy grading. We survived the day, we survived the week. I am so happy that it's Friday. This week has felt so long. Like, the weeks have been dragging on, where by Friday I can't even remember Monday. Like, I don't even remember what we did. But we made it through the day. I just finished grading the vocab test from today. I graded their spelling tests that they all took this morning. I have like 8 different groups, and so I gave 2 tests at a time to try to make it go quick. And then one of the girls said she didn't get her test back, but I graded it and I put it in my grade book, and then after I graded, I put it in their mailbox. So I'm very confused as to why she said she didn't get it back. So I don't know if I accidentally put it in somebody else's mailbox or where it went, because apparently she's the only one who didn't get it back. So I'm hoping that I just placed it somewhere weird and then I find it. But I mean, either way, she got 100. Super strange. So I just finished grading these tests. I'm going to finish checking in the homework that got turned in late, and then I'm going to put the quizzes back in their mailboxes, put their homework for next week in their mailboxes, and then head out because it's 3:40 and I'm going to try to leave by 4. So yeah, but I thought I would update you about how today went. So this morning the kids came in insane. I don't know if it's because it's St. Patrick's Day or because we're just ready for spring break or because it's Friday or all of the above, but they came in insane today. When they came in, they were screaming. One of them was like, "I'm so sad." Then she was like, "No, I'm happy and sad." And they were just so loud. And then every day when they come in, they sit on the carpet and we do a morning meeting. And on Friday they have specials 5 minutes into the school day, so it's just a quick morning meeting. We say good morning, I go over the schedule and any announcements, and then they go. And they literally were so loud. They kept shouting out, talking over me, and I was like, guys, today is not gonna go well if this continues. We're just not gonna get anything done. And so then they kind of simmered down and they went to do specials, and then during that time I graded things, got stuff organized, finished prepping for next week. And then normally when they come in, so they have music until 10, and then recess is at 10:25. So in that 25 minutes, they normally do their vocab quiz, and then if they have a spelling test, because their spelling tests are every other week, then I'll start pulling groups for the spelling test. Yeah, so that's what I normally do. And then when they come back in from recess, then I'll finish the spelling test. And it takes me a while because there's so many different groups, but normally I have 2 pairs with me who can help, but they're both absent today. So it was me and then my one other pair was able to give 1 test. So that was fun. But normally when they come back in from music, I let the kids pass out the privacy screens and the test, just because that's one of our class jobs and they like doing that. But I was the energy we had this morning, there's no way. They are already insane and I just want to get right to the work. But they ended up coming back 7 minutes late from music, which really frustrates me because we don't have much time as is, and I like to get as much done as possible. But I was it's not their fault. They just got dismissed late and it's a far walk. So as soon as they got in, they came in, did their work, and they were actually really good. And so we did that, and then what did we do after that? So we took vocab quizzes, did the spelling test, they finished their iReady minutes, and then we have our annual project coming up. And so for that, the students got split into groups for the 6, I want to say there's 6 groups of the 6 main topics for 4th grade. And so we have a missions group, Native Americans, Gold Rush, ranchos, just the different units that we did. And so each kid had to answer a question that was like a pretty deep critical thinking question, and so they had to write like a short paragraph about it. And then or some of them wrote long paragraphs that were like 13 sentences, or a few of them wrote multiple paragraphs. And so they were finishing up that today, and then once they were done with that, they had to glue it on construction paper and then find pictures, and then I was printing those out for them, and they were just getting their poster board done. And that has been so chaotic because they're all at like a different point in the stage of their project, and so they're all like, I need help, can you help me, can you read it, is it good, can you print this, can you do this, can you help this person? So it's just like chaos, because I have 26 kids asking me for help and to print things and to do things. And then like, of course, it's on Google Slides, and they're like, my whole slide deleted and everything's gone, or the words got messed up, and then I have to fix it. So that's chaotic, but we got that done, and the posters are almost done, so that's exciting. So this next step of the project is that they get to create a carnival game for like the annual project day, and so that we're going to start next week. So that'll be fun. And so funny because we were like on a roll, and I was like getting so much done, and the kids were getting so much done. One of the kids came up to me and he was like, lunch is in 1 minute, right? I was like, nope, didn't realize that. So I was like, all right, let's just like drop the chaos, leave it, and go to lunch. And then I've had so many kids this week do lunch with teacher, because at Classdoor, that's one of the rewards, is that they can buy a lunch with teacher coupon. And one of my kids bought like 5 of them, so we've had lunch together like 3 times this week. But I mean, I love him, and he gets to bring some other friends, so like it's a fun time. I love them. And then one of my other kids was like upset about something, so I let her stay in for lunch. And then 2 of my kids, who are like pretty rowdy and like don't buy lunch with teacher, they're just like not into that kind of thing, like popped their head in. They're like, oh, why are there people in here? And I was like, oh, we're doing lunch with teacher. And they're like, oh, can we do lunch with teacher? Or I think I said like, oh, do you want to join, like kind of, because I didn't think they actually wanted to, so I was kind of kidding. But of course, like, they're welcome to, and they were like, yeah, can we? And I was like, sure. And so they're like, can we pay you $1 for lunch with teacher, when like in Classdoor it's like $200 or something? And I was like, sure, because honestly, if these kids want to do it, like, go ahead. And so they came and they joined us, and we all had lunch together, and it was really nice. They like played, and they were all playing nicely together. They started making Krabby Patties with Play-Doh, so we had a good time with that. And then after lunch, they finished their project because we left the classroom. It was just like a chaotic mess. And I have a question for you. So are you the type of teacher that everything has to be like clean and perfect and pristine before kids can leave? Or are you like me, where like if they're in the middle of a project or something, you kind of like let there be chaos for a bit, and then like at the end of the day or when they're done, they clean up? Because I don't know, I feel like sometimes it's easier to just like let there be a bit of chaos, and like, yeah, it's a mess, but like we're in the middle of a project, and then we'll clean it up after. So it was a hot mess express, but we cleaned up at the end of the day. And then when they came in, so there's a used book sale going on, and so of course I like to peruse and see what they have. And so I found this book, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. So it's called A Bad Case of Tattletongue, and I knew when I saw this I had to grab it, because my 4th graders some of them have quite the tattle tongue, and some of it's just like so exhausting. And like we talk about like, okay, like mind your own business, like worry about yourself, and we talk about it all the time, but we still have those friends that like to just tattle. And so the kids were really excited because they all like read this in like kindergarten, 1st grade. But basically it has rules about tattling, and it's about this kid who tattletales a lot, but then when there's like actually a situation where you should tell an adult and it's not tattling, he doesn't tell, and so he gets tattle tongue. Where's a picture of him with his tattle tongue? Up there, starting. So that was a good book. And so we talked about the 4 rules. Rule number 1, be a danger ranger. Rule number 2, be a problem solver. Rule number 3, now or later. And rule number 4, mind your own business. So talked about that. And that was fun. But then I was like asking them examples of like, when would you have a problem that's like a not now problem? So like one of them was like, if you don't know what to do. And I was like, yeah. And I go, and also like, it's always on the board, right? It's always posted somewhere in the classroom. Like we always have the same options. And so we talked about how you can ask a friend if you don't know what to do, and that was helpful. So I'm really hoping that sticks in their brain, because the amount of times that I am asked, like, what do I do now? Or what should I be doing? Or can I do this? When it's like literally on the board and I explained what to do and it's like the same thing every day is so frustrating. So hopefully that message sticks with them. And then we talked about that. We talked about what's like a now problem. Like if you're feeling sick, if someone's getting bullied or is hurt or you're gushing blood or whatever, then obviously that's an important problem to address right now. So we talked about that, and then the kids started getting rowdy again. But that was good. And then the last thing we did today was when we had our fundraising event, my class raised over like $1,000, and we didn't win because there were a lot of good classes that fundraised a lot of money. I think they got 4th or 5th place, and so because of that, the PTA committee reached out to me and wanted to treat my class to a popsicle party. And so I told them this morning we would have a treat after lunch, and I didn't tell them why, and I didn't tell them like what it was. And then like our school mascot came and they brought the popsicles, so that was fun. We got a class picture, and then we just went outside and played and had free time and ate our popsicles. So that was our day. It was a good day. The kids are they're so funny. They were just, what were they saying? During lunch they were talking about, they were like, what food would you go on a date with? And one of them was like salmon. No, not salmon. He said steak. What are the other ones? I don't know. Sushi. They say such funny things. So it was a good day. It was a good time. I'm tired. I'm going to go put this book away. I think I'm going to display it for a little bit because after I read books, a lot of the kids like to like look at them afterwards. So I'm going to leave it out by the board. Put in my grades in my grade book and then head out. I'm trying to think if there's any like other updates that I wanted to tell you guys about, but I feel like that's it. Yeah. I guess that'll, I just banged my Apple Watch on a chair. I put up the chairs on my back table, and then I realized that I wanted to grade back here, so that's why there's like a stool here, and I just banged myself on a chair. But anyway, that's my little update for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little day in the life vlog. Sorry I'm not very good about like vlogging during the day, but at least I tell you what I'm up to after school. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and subscribe for more videos, and I will try to vlog soon. Bye!